Hello, hello. How's it going? We are back. I am back. My second show. Everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining. What's good to everybody? All my hood folks. What's good? Hope everybody's doing well. This is my second stream. Have quite a nice show lined up for you guys today. This one's actually scripted and written down. Last time I just went off the top of my head, and if you ask me, that wasn't the most successful of shows, although it was okay. But you know what? We gonna live this thing up, and we go definitely gonna grow this channel and do this thing the right way, the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. So first, I want to start off by I wrote a lot of questions down that I was left with after Saturdays and Sundays boxing events. I think it went a little bit. I think they were both great events. The commentary left a salty taste on my mouth because it was extremely biased and didn't make sense to me. So that's probably the first thing I'm going to talk about, the commentary and all the things that happened this past weekend regarding boxing that just didn't make any type of sense whatsoever. It was extremely biased, if you ask me, from both cards, Sunday and Saturday cards. But the question that I have regarding commentating, content creators, YouTubers, radio, sportscasters, anybody who's a sportscaster or commentator that speaks on boxing. This is a question for the general public. Are there penalties to stating the facts about boxers and their performances? Why are announcers so biased? Are they blind? Well, this is, I asked this question specifically because, it feels like there are penalties for when content creators or commentators at the sports events during the fights or before the fights or in press conferences, it always just feels like there may be a penalty to being truthful and to giving your actual judgment and your actual opinion regarding fights. For example, the panels, the commentating panels this past weekend on both Saturday and Sunday fights. Sunday's fights, it was extremely biased towards Javonte Davis. All punches that weren't landing, they were counting them as if they had landed. Salute Marion Brown and off the ropes boxing and MMA. But yeah, so it just didn't really add up or make any sense to me whatsoever because they're so extremely biased. Every single punch that Javonte Davis threw that they thought was going to be a huge punch, like the uppercuts, which looked like they had really landed pretty savagely when you were watching the fight live. But then they show you the replay in slow motion, and you see that the glove hits Pitbull Cruz's gloves. And, if you listen to the commentators, the entire time they're acting as if everything is landing for Javonte Davis. They're speaking as if Cruz is not landing anything. They're speaking as if so I forgot who I heard say this, as if the fight is on the radio and as if we're not currently watching the fight live. The same thing happened on Saturday with the Fundora fight. Same thing happened on Saturday with the fight for Carlos Adamus and Banchenko, and the same happened with the Miguel Mariaga fight. So during the Carlos Adamus fight, they kept on saying that Derevyanchenko was winning the fight. They will only call out stuff for Derevyanchenko. Certain parts in the fight, they stated that it looked like Carlos Adamus was ready to go. If you ask me, I was watching the fight. Carlos Adamus was dominating that fight with everything he was doing. Body head, great defense, great movements. Yeah, he got caught with a couple good clean shots, but that's what happens in boxing. If you're trying to knock somebody out, you got to take some type of risks and be willing to get hit. They never give guys enough credit. I agree, Marion Brown. They don't give unless they're guys who are very well known or that they like or have a personal relationship or have some type of reason why to big them up or comment on them in a positive way. They won't do it, which is what, back to my question, makes me think and makes me feel as though there is a penalty to sports commentators. And when they try to actually speak the real facts, I feel like they could potentially get fired or not get the interviews that they'd like to get. For example, the guys that we were talking about this yesterday on Mano a Mano on Maestro Oz channel, the guys that interview Ellerby and Mayweather and Eddie Hearn and all, very famous rich people. If you notice, they ask questions, they let the person who's answering the questions answer in whatever way they want to answer, and they never question them. They never say anything. There's always like, oh, like Ellerby said, oh, if I see Eddie Hearn, I swear I'm gonna knock him the fuck out, or some dumb shit like that, And the commentators that are just like, yeah, ha, 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 all right, yeah, If it was me interviewing, I would literally ask, do you seriously believe that? Look at yourself and look at Eddie Hearn. Do you seriously believe that you would be able to take Eddie Hearn on in a boxing match? How much weeks of a training camp would you need? These are questions that I feel like people are afraid to ask in the media and content creators, and they just ask things that big up whoever they're interviewing so that potentially they could continue getting interviews in the future. I think that's stupid. I guess is a way to stay in the loop and to stay in the media and be able to interview whoever you want to interview. But I think it's stupid because we don't get the truth. We don't get, you leave the boxing fans wanting more. When these interviews go in a way where it's like, oh, I'm just going to outline the positive things for everybody, and I'm not going to talk about any of the negatives. And that's what pretty much happens with content creators from YouTube and with sportscasters on Fight Day and the fight channels. Exactly. They don't want to get blocked. I don't even know what happened to Paulie Malignaggi, but I used to like Paulie Malignaggi, and I saw some argument or something there. But, Paulie Malignaggi, I think he was a little bit more on the real side, and I don't think they really like that for sports commentating. They like the biased sports commentating, which for me doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Excuse me. I'm getting a little thirsty, talking a whole lot. So, look, I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I do regarding sports not even sports commentating, boxing sports commentating. It's extremely biased. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And they act like you're blind, not watching the fight. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. But whatever. Let's move on from this. But I will say, if I ever do get the opportunity, which I do plan on getting the opportunity to go to these fights live and get some interviews and ask some questions and speak with people, I'm actually gonna, ask my questions, speak my mind, and it may not get me the interviews that I want in the future. But at the end of the day, my life doesn't depend on them, the boxers, and their interviews. This is something that I do because I enjoy it, entertainment. This is not paying me any money whatsoever. It's not paying the bills. I do work an actual job, so it's not going to hurt me if these people don't want to give me interviews. But if I am able to get interviews from these people, I'm going to crush them. I'm going to destroy them because I'm going to ask the questions that they don't want to be asked, the questions that make them upset. All right. Moving on to this past weekend's boxing events. I thought it was a great weekend for boxing. I don't know how you guys feel, but there were a lot of good fights, and the undercards were great, both for the Saturday event and the Sunday tank event. I think both of the boxing events had good undercards, and I was very entertained on both days. I just think that it sucked that we had to wait until Sunday. What was it, 9-10 p.m. or something like that, in order for us to be able to see the tank card. I think it was 8 p.m. But Sunday, everybody works on Monday. It didn't really make sense. I'm pretty sure they hurt their sales by doing so. But moving on to this past weekend's fights, the first fight I'm going to discuss is Miguel Mariaga and Eduardo Ramirez, who came up in weight. It seems like it's over for Miguel Mariaga. He really didn't look too good. I expect going into the fight blindly, not doing any research on either of these fighters, I expected Miguel Mariaga just because he's the guy that I actually know from these two gentlemen, and he's the guy that's his weight class. He was not going up in weight. So for me, if you asked me, I would have expected Miguel Mariaga to come out with that win on Saturday, but instead of coming out with the win on Saturday, Miguel Mariaga, he looked very, very lackluster. The gentleman he faced, Eduardo Ramirez, coming up from a different weight class, was landing a lot of power punches. I mean, everything he threw was power. Everything he threw was power, and he was being very effective with it. He had a weird style that I guess was very difficult for Miguel Mariaga to adjust to. But even if it was difficult to adjust, so I don't think Miguel Mariaga did enough to win the fight. In the moments where Eduardo Ramirez was letting his hands go and countering him and catching him with the very hard shots, Miguel Mariaga would just close up and try to play defense. He almost got knocked out. He did get knocked down a few times. Almost got knocked out. Yeah, that was a really, really good fight that I didn't expect to be good. And Eduardo Ramirez, the guy who was coming up in weight, is fucking won the fight and did great. So my question to the guys in the chat, if you want to answer, you don't have to. If you do, go right ahead and we could have a conversation. Is it over for Miguel Mariaga? Is he not that great of a fighter anymore? Or is Eduardo Ramirez just that good that he came up in weight and was beating his ass? You know, as you guys get to that, you can answer that. If you're currently watching the channel, and this show, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. All support is appreciated. Shout outs to everybody who's currently in here. Javier Vila, Off the Ropes, Boxing and MMA. Marion Brown. Shout outs and saludos to all. Off the Rope said, look at Teddy Atlas. The moment he starts bashing and judging or criticizing the promoters, they try to put a muzzle on him. Yeah, this is true. I mean, I don't really like Teddy Atlas to be honest, and his commentating, his fight judgment, and his inside the ring breakdown. I've watched it before. I don't really like it. I don't really agree with a lot of the judgments that he gives. But yes, I do agree with you that they have put like a muzzle on him, and you know, if he does say stuff that ESPN or whoever he's working for at the moment doesn't want him to say, he may lose his job. It just is what it is. And you know what? He depends on the big corporation ESPN for them dollars. They don't want to get blocked. I agree. They don't want to get blocked from the action with the things that pays the bills, which is why it doesn't make sense to me why a content creator like YouTubers, yes, YouTube pays their bills. I get it, but I'm pretty sure they have other ways that they make their money. And I would just keep it real, because you're an independent worker. You don't depend off of ESPN or whoever it is for your money. Some up-and-coming fighters like Jahi Tucker and Carlos Jackson prefer to talk to people like us because they can be themselves. Yes, I agree. Definitely up-and-coming fighters do like to talk to people like us. But then when it gets to not everybody, but when they get to higher plateaus in their career, when they're potentially hopping in fights that can be dangerous, fights that can cost them a loss and stuff like that, and you question them, it feels like they get defensive or don't know how to answer the question or don't want to talk to you anymore. I've seen that in several instances with up and coming fighters. It is what it is. I just hope that it's that moving forward, we start getting some actual commentating, because these sportscasters act like we're fucking blind. Like, bro, we're watching the fucking fight. It'd be better to fucking mute the audio and just watch the fight myself. And shit, I'm thinking about doing that in some of the fights this week and having a live stream and live commentating myself on the fights, just because I feel like my live commentating will be so much better than the biased, blind commentating that the commentators for these fights do as is. So back to Miguel Mariaga. Question for you guys. Gatekeeper, should he retire? Is he not that great? Or is the other guy just that much better, Eduardo Ramirez? Shout out Team Batman Boxing. Welcome in. Javier Vila says Soldito Ramirez is good, bro. Oh, for sure. He's definitely great. He's a great boxer for sure. But let's move on to the next event of this past Saturday's fights. Carlos Adamus. I think he had an amazing performance this this past week fighting Vanchenko. That's another fight where the commentating panel was extremely biased. It made no sense whatsoever. It's like, what fucking fight are you watching? You can clearly tell that they were rooting for Vanchenko, but too bad for Vanchenko. He caught the beats by my Dominican brother Carlos Adamus. And Carlos Adamus looking really, really good. I was actually impressed. And I think that he actually can fight a lot of people at 154 or 160. I think he got a bright future ahead of him, even if he loses a couple fights versus some very good contenders. I think he definitely has a way to go. Like, he definitely has a good career in front of him. For Derevyanchenko, what are your thoughts? Actually, before we move to Derevyanchenko, for Carlos Adames, who do you think that fight that he had was a WBC eliminator? So he can fight Jermall Charlo at 160, or he can contend for a title at 154. Jermell Charlo or Castaño, they're having a rematch, so whoever wins that fight, they could challenge. What are your thoughts? Should he fight at 160, Carlos Adames, and face Jermell Charlo? How would that fight go? What are your thoughts? Those are two great styles that I think will make a very exciting fight. It will make a very back and forth fight, I think, because we saw against Montiel, Jermall, he's definitely willing to trade and go back and forth and let a lot of punches go. And as we saw with Carlos Adames, he definitely lets a lot of punches go, and he's willing to put himself in the fire to let his power punches go. And he has a lot of great defense, side, backward movement, shoulder rolls, etc., etc. Charlo will win that one probably. I mean, maybe he could definitely win. I would have to assess some video and compare to really give my judgment and criteria on this fight. I'm very serious with my predictions. I think I give some very good predictions, and I do my research in order to give predictions. I wouldn't be able to give my call on that one at the moment, but just being that Carlos Adames is Dominican and I am Dominican, I would be rooting for Carlos Adames, but that does not mean that I think Carlos Adames will win the fight. Those are two different things. So look, I think he should take whatever title shot he gets first, 160 or 154. Seems like the 160 will be available first because Brian Castaño and Charlo have to get their rematch done first before before that fight can happen. So I would suggest he takes tries to take the title fight with Jermall Charlo at 160. I think that's the best option for him currently. Although Derevyanchenko did seem to land a couple of hits on him that, shook him up a little bit. And if that's the case, then fighting someone like Jermall Charlo could be a bad situation, potentially. We'll see. I also saw that he got fairly tired towards the end of the fight, Carlos Adames, that is. But moving on from Carlos Adames, who had a great performance and should have a title match in the future. Let's move on to Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko, he showed in all of his last fights that he has a hell of a chin. Derevyanchenko has gotten caught with flush shots by a lot of people. And the guy has a hell of a chin. It's solid. Where does he go from here? I don't know. I think he's probably going to be a gatekeeper. Probably a gatekeeper. That's the best thing that I could see for him, because I don't really see him getting a shot to challenge for a title again unless he climbs the ranks again. But he just got beat by Carlos Adames, who is climbing the ranks. So he's going down the ranks. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a little sloppy, and I think he never does enough to win the fight, although he fights very hard and he tries. It is what it is. Maybe gatekeeper. Yeah, maybe gatekeeper at 160 would work for him or something like that. It's like, if you beat Derevyanchenko, then you could maybe fight for a title eliminator or for a title, whatever. Moving on from Derevyanchenko and Adames. This was the only robbery. I'm screaming robbery on this one. There was definitely a robbery this weekend, and that was Sebastian Fundora versus Sergio, I forgot his last name, Sergio Garcia. Look, Sergio Garcia whooped his fucking ass, bro. Sergio Garcia was letting punches go in bunches, and he was landing most of them. He was the aggressor. He had ring generalship for most of the fight. He landed most of the punches, and he put the beats on Fundora pretty badly. And the fucking biased judges gave the fight to Fundora. I don't understand how giving the fight to Fundora it makes sense at all. The guy was getting beat the fuck up for most of the fight. Actually, for all of the fight. Yes, Fundora landed a couple of good punches, but those good punches that Fundora landed didn't seem to really hurt Sebastian. Excuse me, not Fundora, not Sebastian. Didn't seem to hurt. I forgot the other guy's name. Sergio Garcia didn't seem to hurt him, and Sergio Garcia seemed to definitely hurt Sebastian Fundora a few times. And the judges still called this a unanimous decision win for Sebastian Fundora. Where the fuck did you see that? Where the fuck did you see a fucking unanimous decision win for Sebastian Fundora? Shit, I had a unanimous decision win for the other dude. What's his name again? Sergio Garcia. 33 wins and no. That's who I had winning the fight. So this leaves me with questions. Does Sebastian Fundora have what it takes in order to move forward and move forward properly and be a savage? Like, does Sebastian Fundora have what it takes? I don't know. Sebastian Fundora looked very slow. He fought very short, brought himself all the way in. He fought very short against his opponent. And he needs to change his style. He needs to learn how to fight long, add some great leg movements, some shoulder rolls, and keep his chin tucked and fight long. Like, bro, the guy is 6'6", fighting at the, 154, 160 pound division? That makes no sense. The guy should be fucking everybody up. There should be no chance at the guy losing. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, Sebastian Fundora took the mean loss this last weekend, and I feel bad for Sergio Garcia because that was the illest fucking robbery. Sonteo Media, what's good? Chicano Profit, salute. What's good, brothers? How's it going? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. My second live stream, enjoying life, going forward, being aggressive, and doing what I do with this YouTube thing. So yeah, now that we know that Sebastian Fundora got a robbery called on his part for a unanimous decision, that shit made no fucking sense whatsoever. Yeah, what do we think he does? Before I had the thought that he could have gone up in all the weight classes and potentially won a belt in all the weight classes. But the way that he fought this last weekend, I don't exactly see that being a situation where Sebastian Fundora is going to be able to go up all the weight classes and win a belt in each or unify in each and do some historical shit, because he definitely needs to work on his skill. Right now, the only thing that seems to be carrying him is his large size, his physical abilities, his physical attributes. And that's not going to carry him forward in the heavier weights. It just is what it is. The guy is, I don't know. He got some work to do. He can definitely be great, though. I'm not saying that he's going to be bad. He can definitely be great. He just has a lot of work to do. It is what it is. All right. Let's go forward to the main attraction of that night, which was Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. We spoke about this several times on Mano a Mano, and I spoke about it last Saturday, but I will bring it up and speak about it one more time just to give my final breakdown, thoughts, and analysis. Great job by Devin Haney. Amazing job. He definitely showed improvement from last fight. I think it was definitely beneficial to bring Ben Davison into the camp. And I think it was one of the wisest, smartest moves that Bill Haney did, and also non-prideful. Like, I got to respect that, man, to step aside and allow another trainer to come right in and not fully take over, but throw his knowledge and his thoughts and his skills into the mix and train the fighter with a mixture of skills and not what he's always been doing, and advance the fighter. Something that Teofimo Sr. maybe needs to take note of, yeah, bro, it's Devin Haney did his thing. Jojo Diaz also did his thing. He did very well, very, very, very well. But look, he's just very, very small for that division. And if any top level opposition that he fights in that weight class is going to be very, very difficult for Jojo Diaz, because they're all going to be much, much bigger than him. And something that I definitely have to say is that I'm big on body size, reach, agility, and leg movement. That for me in boxing, that's almost everything. If you can put it together, you know. And Devin Haney has a great body size for division, great reach, great speed, great footwork. I think if he could get some chin workouts, the little Mike Tyson and Canelo and Triple G chin workouts, I think he could get his neck a little stronger, which is allow him to eat a lot more harder punches to the chin, and then people can't call him whatever it is that they're calling him and saying about his chin, that he has a weak chin and all that. I think Devin Haney has a great future. He's shown improvement. And if Bill Haney continues being smart, non-emotional, I think that he's going to grow Devin Haney to be a great fighter, to continue being great. Jojo, he could either continue fighting in that weight class and be some sort of a gatekeeper type of situation, or I think he can go back down in weight and compete for a belt. That's at the end of the day, you're fighting for legacy. Yes, you're fighting for money too, but you're fighting more for legacy. He's saying that he wants to take all the big fights, and I'm with him on that. I like that type of attitude, but I think that he should try to go and get a belt at the lower weight class. I know it's more difficult to go down even more pounds to lower weight class, but he should do what it do and make it happen. I think that's pretty much his only chance at getting a belt, going back down the weight. Marion Brown says, I thought Haney looked better against Linares, even though he got hurt. Nah, man, I'm going to disagree. I think Haney did a better job at keeping it boring versus Linares and being very accurate and staying out of danger. He was away for most of the fight. He was at a distance, just throwing shots at a distance. If you ask me, he did a way better job at fighting, staying in the pocket, and not just moving back the entire time. He stayed in the pocket. He traded a few times. He was able to take hits. He punched him between some of Jojo's combinations. I think that shows growth to me, because last fight, what we saw was a guy who was afraid to get hit, a guy who had not gotten his jaw tested. And after he took that punch from Linares, which is a very big punch, Linares is a big puncher. As we saw, Jojo was not able to hurt Devin Haney. He landed some good shots, but he was not able to hurt Devin Haney. I think that I definitely think that Devin Haney showed improvement and looked better in this fight. He played it safer and got hit less in last fight. I just think he showed improvement in his style in this fight. A little less defensive, but showed improvement in his offense, which is something that needs to improve as he's going to continue going up in class. Because look, as they say, Devin Haney, I don't know because I'm not in there getting hit by him, but as they say, he has pillow hands, and pillow hands aren't going to work to keep the opposition up as he continues going up with these harder punches. So, yeah, Linares definitely hits hard as hell. It's been proven, as we saw. Jojo didn't even stun Devin Haney, and Linares definitely almost put him down. So, I don't know if we can actually question Devin Haney's chin because Linares is a hard puncher, but we'll see how it goes moving forward in his career. And I urge Devin Haney to continue working his neck out, like I said, with them Triple G, Mike Tyson, Canelo neck workouts. Get it strong. Then when you take the impact from the punch, your neck muscles can stabilize. The impact that goes down your spine, which is what makes dudes KO. Chicano Prophet. I think Haney showed improvement as well. And maybe I've underestimated his skills a bit previously. I hear that. Look, I've never underestimated his skill. I've always known Devin Haney is extremely skillful. I just thought that Devin Haney was a little boring in the beginning, and I thought that he was untested. The same way that Shakur Stevenson is extremely skilled, and I thought he was untested, and they're both in the realm of they have gotten tested a little bit. Devin Haney definitely more than Shakur Stevenson. But they can need to continue getting tested and see how they move up in weight, and their skills will only come out and be proven much, much more. But I do believe in Devin Haney's skill. I'm not going to say, oh, this guy is the best, unless I see this guy prove his amazing skills against another amazing fighter. Isaac Cruz has some crazy neck exercises. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Those neck exercises, guess what? That's why Javonte Davis couldn't knock his ass out. that man could take a fucking punch. Besides having a hard ass fucking head, that man could take a fucking punch because he's been working out that neck like Mike Tyson. Like, it was very hard to knock out. And I don't, like people say, oh, you can't get a stronger chin. There's nothing you can do. You can't work out to get a stronger chin. Yes, you definitely can work out to get a stronger chin. I, you know, physical fitness is one of my fortes. I excel in physical fitness. I studied it. I learned it. I'm very, very good at physical fitness. For a portion of my life, I was a physical trainer. And I actually left physical training because it was very, very hard for me to hear the complaints from people when they so and so want want to make so many changes to life, but then complaining so much when the workout time comes. That was very, very difficult for me to deal with. But no, yeah, you can definitely trust me when I say you can definitely work out your neck and increase your neck strength and decrease the chance of getting knocked out by a punch to the chin. I don't know. You think those neck workouts really work? No, they definitely do work. Bro, think about it. It's all science, right? In order to throw a good punch, what muscles do you need? Strong back muscles, a good tricep muscle, for extension, strong shoulders. It's a combination of muscles, not only one muscle. You know what I'm saying? When you get punched in the chin, for example, let's say when you get punched in the chin, we see dudes' heads go back, all that shock and vibration goes down their neck. And once it gets, I think, between the neck and the spine, the vibration causes a connection, and that's what causes people to KO or to get woozy or dazed. If you have enough muscle in your neck, you can make your neck a lot wider than what it is. If you have a lot more muscle in your neck, that punch that you throw that's going to hit people in the cheek, a lot of the shock is going to be stopped by the muscle in the neck. It's not going to be able to reach the area where it's supposed to reach in order to knock you out. And you will be able to last longer. It's not saying that you can become invincible against punches, but you can definitely increase the impact that can be taken by one shin. Yeah, off the ropes MMA. Dude was doing neck push-ups a lot. The neck absorbs the impact. Exactly. I heard from a boxing coach, having sex before fights makes your chin and legs weak. I don't know about it making your chin weak, but I do hear that having sex before a fight does make you weaker overall altogether, just because you're releasing a lot of testosterone out of your body. Testosterone is what makes us stronger, makes our muscles grow, keeps us aggressive, keeps us powerful. You know, if you have less testosterone in your body, you're going to be less powerful, you're going to be less aggressive, you're going to be less of yourself. So yes, having sex before a fight or during training camp can definitely make you weaker. You want to have as much testosterone in your body when working out in order to increase muscle gains and muscle mass. Moving away from the fitness and the knockouts and every such thing. If you're watching my channel currently, please like and subscribe, support me, please, and thank you. Also hit that little bell icon so when I do go live, you guys get the notifications. All right, moving on to Sunday. There's only one fight that I'm going to talk about on Sunday, and that's the main event. No, actually, I talk about a bunch of fights on Sunday. That's my fault. I was mixing up fight card now. All right, to the main event we go now. There's a lot of questions about Tank. We got a lot of answers about Pitbull Cruz, but we got left with a lot of questions about Tank. Yeah, so Tank. I've seen a lot of. I'm seeing almost every Tank fight, and in the beginning of his career, he looked very poised, very great against lower opposition. As he started going up in opposition, he stayed at a certain level of opposition that doesn't make him look good. Honestly, I feel like if he goes up from opposition from this level, he may really face some challenges. He could potentially get knocked out. I mean, he seems to have an extremely strong chin, but Pitbull Cruz got him really tired. Pitbull Cruz was putting in work to the body. I mean, I understand the hand was hurt and he couldn't throw punches, but I've seen flashes of him in several fights where he gets attacked and beat up pretty badly. And in some fights, he damn near doesn't throw enough punches. Look, versus Mario Barrios, if he didn't get that KO, in my opinion, that was a very close fight. You know, so there's a lot of questions, excuse me, pardon, I should have muted. Still getting over that cold that I caught this past weekend, but I'm mostly over it. So questions that I have for Tank. Was Tank tired? Look, man, he was definitely tired. But I don't think it was tired because he didn't put in a good training camp. I think it was tired because Pitbull Cruz's body shots was just vicious, and he kept on going for the body. He was getting him tired. Pitbull Cruz had a good game plan, and he employed it. And then as Tank said, he did hurt his hand. He said he hurt it in the 6th round. I've seen the pictures. His hand is super swollen. His hand is huge. Camera angles there. His hand is huge. But yeah, I guess it's a lot easier to get hit when one of your hands is hurt and you can't throw punches with that hand or whatever. You can't, offense is a form of defense. Moving and shoulder rolls and all that other shit, that's not the only form of defense. Offense is another form of defense, which Javonte Tank Davis definitely uses. Javonte Tank Davis uses half body movement to move back and get out the way and duck out the way. And then when the person starts coming forward, aggressive, trying to hit punches, Javonte Davis will catch him with a savage pop shot. Bow! He wasn't able to do that with the hurt hand. So Pitbull definitely beat him up with body shots and got him super tired. And it is what it is. I do think that Tank could potentially do a little better with his conditioning, because we saw him get tired towards the end of the last fight with Barrios. We seen him get tired towards the end of this fight with Pitbull Cruz, and I think that he should work a little hard on his conditioning. I definitely think it'll be beneficial for him moving forward. Why was Tank looking at the clock? Obviously, I think I know why he was looking at the clock, but this is just a question that if I was the general public, general fan, that I'd be left with. Why was Javonte Davis looking at the clock during the fight? Well, my thoughts regarding that is the man was tired. He wanted the fight to end. He was hurt with the hand. He didn't want to continue going forward the fight, and he couldn't wait for the fight to be over. He did not want to risk getting hit hard, looking bad. He did not want to risk getting a knockdown because he can't punch, and he was just wishing for that fight to be over. Marion Brown says they wanted Tank to box too much. I don't think that's his style, really. Yeah, I don't think that's his style either. If you ask me, if I was Tank, I'd be employing a Canelo type of game plan, which is, start off semi-slow, round 1 to 2, round 1 to 3, start putting a couple jabs and body shots together, 4, 5, 6, destroy the fucking body, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, try to get the knockout the first fucking round that you can, because that is what Canelo does. Canelo goes in, he studies, he destroys the opponent's body, he gets him tired and weak and huffing and puffing and moving slow and guessing that he's going to continue going for the body, so they drop their arms, and then bow! In comes Canelo with a couple good KO shots, sometimes knocks him out one, stuns him. This is the game plan that Javonte Tank Davis should employ. Javonte Tank Davis is not a Mayweather. Mayweather's conditioning was phenomenal, outrageous. Mayweather could probably box 2 boxing matches back to back and still be able to shoulder roll and defend and all that other shit. Tank Davis seems to not have that, so he should change his game plan and become the knockout savage killer that people know him to be, and stop trying to fucking box. Every time I've seen him try to box, he doesn't throw enough punches. His boxing movements are great. I just don't think that his conditioning is good enough to keep him boxing at a great level for long enough. So if he could step up his conditioning, I think he could box. I think he could be a KO killer. He could do either one, and he'll be A-okay and completely fine. They definitely want Tank to fight like Floyd, Marion. They want Tank to be the next Floyd Mayweather. Hey, look, bro, nobody's a fucking Floyd Mayweather. Stop it. People can take parts of the Philly shell. People can take parts of the Mayweather style. But look, it's very hard to get another guy like Mayweather. There's guys who have some of his skill, but to have the full package of the Mayweather, yeah, I don't see Tank doing that. I don't see Tank ever stepping up his defense to the level of where Mayweather's defense was at. And I mean, no, his Tank's accuracy is 100% there. 100% there. Tank's accuracy is legit. His speed is legit, but the defense, I never see it getting there, ever. Next question I got. Did Tank get hurt? Look, there's a lot of people that don't like Tank out there, and a lot of people that was talking a lot of nonsense about Tank got hurt, Tank could have gotten knocked out, Tank was getting beat up, yada yada. Look, man, Tank definitely took a couple good body punches, and he definitely took a couple good shots to the chin. Matter of fact, there was a shot to the chin near the ropes where Cruz hit him in the chin, and he said, and then he grabbed right after. Did that hurt him? My opinion, I don't think so. Look, people get hit where their head goes back all the time. People catch that reaction all the time. That means that a hard punch was landed. Yes, it was a hard punch. Did it hurt Tank? No. Did you see Tank wobbling, or did you see him get the spaghetti legs or any of that shit when he got hit? Hell no. He grabbed on, then pushed off and kept moving and kept on boxing, as exactly what he should have done. I think that Tank is just starting to build the Mayweather type of repertoire, type of feeling from the fans. Oh, they just want to see Tank lose. They just want to see Tank lose, so they're going to talk shit about him. They want to see him fight somebody, so they're going to talk shit about him. Look, I want to see him fight somebody too, but I speak facts. I don't talk shit about people. I'm not a hater. I keep it real. I call it how I see it. I say it as it is. You know? Yeah, so look, man. Tank, I don't think Tank got hurt. I think he caught a hell of a lot of good blows, but I don't think he ever got hurt. I haven't seen Tank hurt yet in a fight. You guys can correct me. Anybody who watches the stream, if I'm talking shit, please send me a video clip or something where Tank got spaghetti legs, and I'll change my whole opinion. I'll even bring back this video clip and put it on another video side by side. Well, I was wrong. This, let me know. But I haven't seen it. So, yeah. Did Tank lose? Another, my opinion, no. It was an extremely close fight. Big props. Shout outs to Pitbull Cruz. I'm not going to say another star was made, but he definitely made a case for his star power. He's definitely increased in popularity. He's definitely increased in money fights, and he's definitely increased in people that want to fight him. Guess what? Pitbull Cruz is now someone that people are going to want to fight to test their abilities, to try to make him look worse than Tank did, so that they could potentially get the money fight with Tank. At the end of the day, the money is the only thing that has Tank being so popular as he is, because if it wasn't for the popularity and the money, who would fight Tank? Tank doesn't have shit. They keep on talking about Tank is such a big contender at 130, 135, and 140, but Tank doesn't have shit at either one of these divisions. So, yeah, he's only the big fight because he's the money guy, not because he's the legacy guy. So, yeah, look. Now Ryan Garcia wants to fight Cruz. Devin Haney wants to fight Cruz. Teofimo hasn't said nothing since his whole injury or whatever, but I'm pretty sure he would want to fight Cruz too after getting his belts back. Shit. Everybody's talking about that they will fight Cruz and beat him up, Off the ropes, Chicano Prophet says, yeah, people use the word hurt way too much, and it's a vague statement too. Super vague. Look, bro, everything hurts. You get hit with a punch, it hurts. Now, was I hurt? Did you see me wobble or fall? No, that's a different story. I wouldn't say he's hurt. That's all bullshit. Floyd is hurt. Marion Brown says Floyd is hurt in Tank's career. He's probably gonna fight Riley next. Hey, look, man, I wouldn't think that that's a bad fight, just because Floyd does get hit a couple times. And you know what? One thing that I'm pretty sure of is that Riley hits harder than Pitbull Cruz. And if Riley could get a lucky shot in with more power, who knows? Tank has a hard chin, but who knows? Riley hits harder. Maybe Riley could put him down, But that is also a trash fight. You're definitely right. I would prefer to see much better opposition versus Tank. But whatever. They're gonna keep on giving us trash fights. It's not that I'm accepting it, but if they're gonna continue giving us trash fights, at least give us a trash fight where he has a chance of getting knocked out, and that's it. Nothing more I can say about that. The GOAT Mario P. To be honest, Cruz Cruz Knight have been stronger and heavier handed than Tank. That's why he boxed. Look, man, I can't really say I disagree with you. Tank was very powerful, but Tank wasn't really landing clean. Cruz was landing more clean than Tank was to the body, and he landed that real good uppercut towards the end, which I said backed up Tank's head. You know, it is what it is. Cruz, a lot of people are gonna want to fight Cruz, and big ups to him. Shout outs to him. I like his attitude too. What he was saying in the media, I really like his attitude. You know, very calm, very humble, and you can see he's a warrior. He's willing to fight. He's not afraid of shit. Off the rope says, let's see Ryan versus Pitbull, since Ryan loves to open his mouth every time Tank fights. Look, man, Ryan loves to open his mouth every time anybody fights. I don't know if not when Devin Haney fought Jojo right now, but the previous fight versus Linares, after Devin Haney took the shot to the jaw that he had the spaghetti legs, Ryan Garcia was like, oh, fight me next, I'm up next. How about you get back in the fucking boxing ring and fight somebody? Get over this inactive shit. Nobody gives a fuck about shit that he's saying. The more shit he talks from the sidelines, the worse he fucking looks. And look, I'm not hating on the man. I like Ryan Garcia and his skills. But shut the fuck up and stop talking shit from the side. Get yourself into action. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's really simple if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Very simple. Ryan versus Pitbull will be an interesting fight. Pitbull might be too small. You know, I think Ryan damages Pitbull more than Tank damages Pitbull, because Ryan, in my opinion, throws more punches. His defense is worse, but he throws more punches, and he may be, we don't know, he may be just as powerful as Tank. He has very fast hands, and he does have some power in them hands. You know, there's potential that Ryan Garcia would actually put more of a beating on Pitbull Cruz than Tank did. That's a very high chance. I believe that could very definitely very well happen. I don't know about a knockout though, because Cruz's chin, bro, and his defense was good, bro. So yeah, man, his defense was good. So look, I think Ryan puts potentially more of a hurting on Cruz than Tank did. You know. But yeah, I didn't answer the question, did Tank lose? No, I don't think he lost. The closest that I could have called it was a draw, but you know, I had it Tank slightly winning. And I didn't do a scorecard. I could go back and do a scorecard. You know, if dudes feel like I'm just judging off the top of the head and being biased, I could go back and do a scorecard to give an actual decision. No, Marion Brown. Ryan says that he's going through mental health issues. And due to the mental health issues that he's currently not stable enough to get in the boxing ring, which is respect. You know, mental health is a serious thing these days. And, you know, you got to take it serious when somebody tells you that their mental health isn't doing good. But it's been a long time. If you're going to claim mental health and that your mental health isn't good, then stop talking shit, shut the fuck up from the side of the ring, and work on your mental health. Go get some therapy. Go, you know, do whatever. I respect the mental health excuse or the mental health comment. Let's not call it an excuse, because an excuse would be me bashing it. I respect that. But at the same time, I'm going to respect you saying you got mental health issues, but shut the fuck up from the sidelines, bro. It's that serious. It's that simple. Excuse me. Not serious. Simple. All right. Let's keep it moving forward. How do last week's... Oh, this was a great question that's going to open up a nice little debate. How do last week's Kambosos, Saturday's Haney, and Sunday's Tank fare up against each other? Look, man, the best fight that I saw this past weekend, the best fighter, the fighter with the best performance that I saw this past weekend was Devin Haney. I thought he performed better than Tank. And thinking about, all right, if the 2-3 weeks ago Kambosos was to fight yesterday's Tank, that'll be a difficult fight. That'll be a difficult fight because Tank got injured. Tank wasn't able to punch. Kambosos is very good at countering in between punches and landing them. That's what he was doing to Teofimo Lopez over and over and over and over and over for the entire fucking fight. Teofimo Lopez will start throwing punches. beep, beep, in between his punches. Kambosos throw a couple and land and stop him in his tracks. It was happening over and over. So look, man, it's a difficult one to answer. Devin Haney, I thought, had the best performance. So Devin Haney, I think, would potentially, without watching any tape, without doing any serious diagnosis, I think that Devin Haney would potentially beat Kambosos. And if Tank was to get injured like he did in yesterday's fight, I think Kambosos would be Tank. But it's a toss-up. Look, Tank has a shitload of skills. He has a hell of a lot of power. He's a beast. It's hard to call any of these guys out. And this is just me talking off the top of my head. Before giving an actual fight judgment or breakdown, I watch a lot of tape. There's a lot of things that I diagnose. Styles make fights, as they say, and that's how I make most of my judgments and my calls for fights in the weekend. And my judgments are actually pretty good. Ask Maestro, ask D-Style Boxing, ask them guys. My judgments and my call-outs are pretty good. They have a high percentage of coming out the way that it actually is. Let me have a little water. All right. So yeah, for me, as I said, the guys that we just saw fight, I think Haney beats Kambosos. This Saturday's Haney beats Kambosos from 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever the timeline was. And I think 3 weeks ago, Kambosos beats Sunday's Tank with the injury and all that stuff. Tank without an injury, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that off the top of my head. That's I got to watch a lot of tape to decide that, and I don't just talk shit out of my butt. I don't hate when people say, "Oh, well, Kambosos sucks. He's only found." No, we're gonna do some fucking research and come out with some actual facts. Haney without box Kambosos easy. Kambosos not that good in my opinion. Marion Brown off the top of the head. I feel that Haney would outbox Kambosos too, but Kambosos showed that he's much more than we thought that he was, and he's much more ferocious than what people think, and that he's willing to take the hits, and that he has a good chin, and he throws punches in between the combinations, and he's accurate, and he lands, and he throws a lot of punches. We don't know if he has a lot of power, although he did knock down Teofimo Lopez in the first round, but then again, we don't know if Teofimo Lopez has a strong chin. I've read several instances and seen several clips of Teofimo Lopez getting knocked down or knocked out during sparring matches, and yes, that's where you learn. But then again, as I said, we don't know if Teofimo Lopez has a hard chin, and we don't know if Kambosos has a lot of power. But from what we saw, he has some type of power. And look, I just don't want to judge anybody without giving them the fair shot and doing the full videos, research, and analysis that I be doing. I just don't think it's fair to anybody. I don't like the way that these sportscasters on TV be talking out their ass and talking random nonsense. So I'm not going to talk out my ass and lie and talk random nonsense. I'm not going to do that. All right. Lots of things that we saw in the post-fight press conference from Sunday's fight. Mayweather still hating on Canelo at the press conference, bringing up Lubin, bringing up forgot his name, bringing up one of his proteges. I forgot the guy, Jalil Hackett, and I forgot who else, a couple other dudes. To the stage, talking hella shit about Canelo, saying that these are the fighters that we need to look after and big up and hone, as opposed to Canelo. Look, man, Mayweather's a fucking hater. Mayweather is probably the reason why Tank hurt his hand during that fight. Having him switch them to them bullshit non-labeled gloves that nobody knew what the fuck brand they were, what they were made out of, and switched them off last minute. Canelo's gloves are made to knock motherfuckers out and not hurt them hands. You know what I'm saying? Stupid shit by Mayweather. Number one hater in fucking boxing. And Ellerby, look, man, people, there's a lot of hate towards Ellerby, and it's because he says a lot of foolish, dumbass shit. Ellerby is just a fucking puppet, though. You know what I'm saying? Ellerby is just a puppet under Mayweather's hands that just says and does whatever Mayweather says for him to do. It's like Ellerby was a puppet in Mayweather's corner when Mayweather was a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Mayweather's a puppet. Excuse me. Ellerby's a puppet that says a hell of a lot of dumb fucking shit that people get upset at. And he was also hating on Canelo and hating on everybody else and just trying to big up Tank Davis. Look, man, I just think that Mayweather's upset that Canelo's outdoing his career. Canelo's looking way better than Mayweather did, not in his career, and not stylistically, not money wise, not pay-per-view wise, legacy wise. Salute, maestro. My guy. You already know we on the moon today, baby. We looking at Earth from another aspect. But no, man, look, he hated too much. Mayweather definitely hated too much on Canelo, and it's just stupid. It makes no fucking sense. Let the man rock. The man is definitely by far about to outdo your legacy, and you mad at that. Let that go. And Canelo actually came back talking shit, saying, "Look, man, Mayweather's just mad that I'm about to outdo his career, that my career is looking better than his." And I believe it is straight facts. Like, Mayweather, fall back, please, shut the fuck up. And shit like what I just said is what people are unwilling to say. Content creators, sportscasters, and everybody's unwilling to say, because guess what? Then if they ever see Mayweather in person and meet Mayweather may not give him the interview, or Ellerby or the money team. Fuck all that shit. They can all kiss my ass. I don't care about nobody's fucking interview. They don't pay me. They don't pay my money. They don't do shit for me. They just on TV making money off of me and the money that's paid for pay-per-views. Tank and Floyd got a 50 Cent and the game relationship before the breakup. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem that bad. 50 Cent and game type relationship, I would say, would be more like Floyd and Adrian Broner. I wouldn't say that Floyd and Tank are exactly there just yet. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually the game and 50 Cent, they started beefing and became enemies and a whole bunch of other shit. And that's what happened with Adrian Broner and Floyd Mayweather. I haven't seen that happen with Tank just yet. But look, if Tank is smart in any way whatsoever, Tank will get the fuck out of Mayweather Promotions when he's made enough money. And I think he's made enough money already. The guy gets $1 million or a couple of million or whatever, depending who he's fighting. The guy's made more than enough money already. I think he's good to go. You know what I'm saying? Time to start considering or making the game plan to maneuver your way the fuck out of Mayweather Promotions. Moving on from Mayweather Promotions, the post-fight press conference, fuck all that shit. It was all just a bunch of hate that made no sense with Mayweather stuttering. And you know what? He got all his followers and supporters repeating the shit that he's saying. Shout outs to D-Style for this one. He got all his parrots going crazy, sucking his balls. It is what it is. Moving on from that, though. This is a big one. Anthony Joshua. It seems like the man is considering taking some step aside money. And if you ask me, look, bro, I'd rather get knocked out in the fucking ring than take some step aside money and miss your shot at getting your belts back. Because how guaranteed is it that if Usyk fights somebody else and then fights Fury after that somebody else, how likely is it that Anthony Joshua after that is going to get another shot at a title unless he goes all the way up the rankings again and does all that nonsense again? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it'll be a lot of bitch assness from Anthony Joshua if he just takes the step aside money. When last time I saw an interview video by IFL TV, and in their interview they asked him what he's thinking about doing, and he's like, "Well, I want to fight. Oh, I want to fight. Oh, I want to fight." And then like 10 seconds later or a minute later in the same video, he says, "Well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You got to take every situation how you take it. If the money's right, then the money's right. You got to consider the offer. I don't know. See, at this moment, I don't know what I'm doing." So it's like, my man, the fuck are you doing? Are you going to fight? Or are you going to take the step aside money? Or are you just trying to keep everybody guessing? Because guess what? People are out there talking shit about you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I think he should not take that fucking step aside. Oh, actually, that's a great fucking suggestion. That's a great suggestion to Milcar. But he may look like a bitch. Hold on. First, before we get to Milcar, Tank shows Canelo love. Floyd don't like that. That's why the glove changed. I completely agree. Shit. If I was Tank, I'd go from Mayweather Promotions to Canelo's promotional company. Now. Shit. But Milcar says he will take the step aside money. Look, I'm broke as shit. But he said he'll take the step aside money only in one condition. and that is as long as he has a guaranteed shot at the winner. And you know what? In that instance, that's actually not a fucking bad idea, Milko. I didn't think about it that way. If he took the step aside money and then got a guaranteed shot at the winner of Usyk Fury and gets a shot at all the belts as opposed to only the 3 belts that he would have gotten a shot at to begin with, that does not sound like a bad idea. That actually sounds pretty decent. And you get a larger bank for sitting at home and not doing shit, you know. Or he could take another fight, a tune-up in the meantime while he waits for Fury. And you look, I'm not really the guy that's there for tune-up fights or thinks that tune-up fights should happen regularly, but I think Anthony Joshua needs a tune-up fight after what seems to be like a loss of identity that he's going through in his last 5 to 7 fights. You know, the guy, we've seen the guy change from knockout puncher to a guy who's trying to box, to a guy who's trying to punch and knock out people, to a guy back who's trying to box, to a guy who's trying to, forgot the phase of the Vladimir Klitschko phase, you know. Milko says, give him time to train and get his mind right. Yeah, give him time to train. Maybe get in another fight, you know, where, you know, someone the likes of like another, if Dillian White doesn't get the Fury shot, like Dillian White or somebody he's fought before that has high level talent that could get him to practice skills that he's learning. And I definitely think that he needs to add someone to train, add a trainer, or, you know, get rid of his old trainer just because he hasn't really learned anything since we first saw him. In fact, I think that he's probably digressed. He looked better when we first saw him and doing his knockout thing and being a beast. So, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I hope he doesn't take the step aside money unless, like Maestro says, he has a I fight the winner of this match type of clause. Marion Brown says, Floyd did say some real shit. Canelo needs to fight Benavidez and stop jumping weight classes. Look, I guess, right, Canelo could fight Benavidez, and that'd be a great fight. That'd be an amazing fight. But Benavidez has done it to himself. You know, Canelo is not chasing money. Canelo is chasing legacy. And if you ask me, getting another belt at whatever weight class that is, the new shit, getting another belt at that weight class will get him more notoriety or more legacy points than fighting Benavidez. You know, Benavidez looks like he's a great fighter, but Benavidez is still semi-improving. He's become champ, I think, once or twice, and has lost the belt on the scales and has fought good opposition. But I wouldn't say he's fought the greatest, you know. Go fight a Caleb Plant. Go fight all the mother fights that Canelo beat. Do what Lomachenko is doing. Beat him worse than Canelo beat him and potentially get your shot in the future. I don't see. Look, Floyd is talking shit. Did Floyd take the fights with the younger, stronger, upcoming fighters when he was fighting? Fuck no, he didn't. Canelo was the only one that he did that with, and that's because he knew that he could beat him, and Canelo was young. Take him while he's super young and inexperienced and beat him so that when he does become great, you could talk about, look at Canelo. He's great, and I whooped his ass. I made it look easy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't Canelo could come back down in weight class and fight Benavidez whenever. I don't necessarily think that that's a necessity at this point, especially because Benavidez has nothing to offer. Canelo's chasing legacy. You know, it is what it is. Floyd Mayweather could very well be the GOAT of boxing. Not my opinion, but wouldn't argue against it. I don't know if I agree with that, Mario P, the GOAT Mario P. Floyd is one of the greats for sure. Floyd changed the game forever, and Floyd did some great things in the sport of boxing. But it's hard to choose only one GOAT. It's very difficult to choose only one fighter to be the greatest of all time, especially because there are so many different weight classes, and we can never face these fighters against each other. You know, in my opinion, although Floyd beat Canelo, I still think Canelo has a better career so far. You know, fuck the O can't go, I can't lose. It's all about the O not going. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? None of that makes sense to me. Shout out Eileen. It's good. It is what it is. As I said before many times, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm saying? You guys choose what you value. I choose what I value. I can't really argue what you value with what I value. We have different opinions, and that's okay. It just is what it is. You have different judging criteria. And Maestro's response to the weight thing is, that's funny because all Tank does is jump weight class. When this is actually very true. 130, 135, 140, some catch weights. It is what it is. Let Canelo do whatever he wants. The guy is the greatest at this moment, and it is what it is. He's the face of boxing. What had Benavidez done to get a shot at Canelo? Exactly. You know what? Benavidez fucked up his shot at getting a shot at Canelo by losing the belt on the scales. No sympathy. As much as I like Benavidez, as much as I like the guy, his character, his style, his fighting, his abilities, he fucked up. Not me, not Canelo. It is what it is. If Canelo claims he's the best, he needs to fight the best and prove it. He's been doing that. He has been doing that. Bro. And we're gonna have to look. I'm about to do a poll and get from people a list of who they think are the greatest of all times, and compare these guys side by side, and come up with a definitive greatest of all time, or greatest two of all time, or something along the lines. Because, bro, Canelo is definitely a savage right now. He's definitely the guy to beat. He's definitely the face of boxing. And you could say who did Canelo fight right now, but who did Mayweather fight back in the day? Andre Berto, washed up Andre Berto, washed up Cotto, washed up whatever, and almost retired, still aggressive Maidana. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not knocking Mayweather. Mayweather did his thing, and he fought people that were great, but he did wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He did wait till these people were a little bit past their prime. So these people had taken some losses, some knockdowns, and some flaws. So whatever. Chicano Prophet says, "Yep, dude lost his belt twice. Benavidez needs to show he can make weight and bring something to the table." I completely agree. Show that discipline. Show that you actually want that fight, and go get that fight. Don't talk about wanting to fight and then not going and get it. Go get that shit. Fuck all that. Mayweather beat Canelo. I don't know what WIM means. I don't know. But Mayweather definitely beat Canelo. Mayweather whooped Canelo. Mayweather made Canelo look silly. But that was an old Canelo, and that was a young Canelo, and the old Mayweather. If that fight was to happen today, it wouldn't be the same fight. Canelo's resume in terms of talent in his era is weak, but nevertheless, those guys held belts. And he beat them. Yeah. And what is the difference from what Canelo's doing? Every guy that he's faced or is facing currently has belts. He's fighting people who have belts currently, not people who had belts and lost them. He's fighting people who have belts right now. And I do see Canelo going up to 175 and fighting the Bivol and Better Bievs and all them dudes. That, if you ask me, is the number one legacy move that Canelo can make in order to end his career with a bang and come out with people hands down saying that he has that he is the greatest of all time, and not have this comparison to Mayweather. Now, this weekend we have a lot. Before we go to this weekend fights, because that's how I want to close out the show, there's a few things that I do want to talk about. One last thing that I do want to talk about, and that is a fight that is coming soon. and some bitch asses that I think happen. And it is boxing. It's not. I wouldn't really consider this boxing, but it is it is sanctioned by boxing, and it is in a match that is going to go down in boxing. That is Jake Paul and what was going to be Tommy Fury. This is not what I'm going to say is not necessarily about Jake Paul. It's more about Tommy Fury. I don't know if the guy actually really did get injured, but bro, it just looks bad on the guy. Like, the guy has looked bad his entire career. I tweeted earlier this week, if I was Tyson Fury, I'd stop this guy from being able to box. I'd be like, yo, you can't box no more. If you're gonna box, you gotta change your fucking name. You can't be boxing as Tommy Fury. You gotta box as Tommy Water or Tommy No Fury. I don't fucking, it's Tommy some shit. But bro, he backed out of a fight of a dude that he should have knocked out. He hasn't fought anybody in his career. He's made good amount of money from a nobody in boxing, and he's tarnishing his older brother's name, Tyson Fury. Just stop it. Stop it, Five. I was hoping that he actually would have fought Jake Paul and hurt Jake Paul. But whatever. Excuse me. Now I'm putting my money on Tyron Woodley. I feel like people watch Jake Paul to see Jake Paul get knocked out, not because they care about him and his boxing ability. But whatever. That's all I had to say about that one. Don't really want to focus too much on that or give it too much time. Tommy Fury was our only chance at shutting down the Paul brothers. Yeah, man, Tommy. Because look, I see the Paul brothers continuing to just bring over MMA guys and try to fight them in boxing and try to get paid that way and do pay-per-views and shit, because guess what? Their pay-per-views are going to sell because they have such a dramatic large following on YouTube. These guys have been YouTubing since they were kids. It just is what it is. Their fights are going to sell, whether they fight trash or fight somebody good. So, potentially they're just going to continue cherry picking and picking over MMA guys to continue bringing over the boxing and fight them. If you're currently watching my channel, please like this video and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon so you get notifications when I do go live. All right. So, last segment that I'm doing here today is weekend's notable fights. This coming weekend, we have a lot of fights going on, which should be very good and entertaining. I'm not going to give a full breakdown or analysis or my thought on who is going to win. Today, I'm just going to bring them up, speak a little bit about them, and probably Saturday, I'll be back to give some final fight predictions sometime in the afternoon. So, this weekend's notable fights. ESPN has quite a few good notable fights. They got Nico Ali Walsh versus Reyes Sanchez. The only reason this is a notable fight is because Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, and he looks to be a power hitter, a powerful fighter, seems to be going in there for the knockout. I saw his last fight. It was exciting, although it was a short 4-round fight. I expect this one to be of similar fashion, short, aggressive, low round fight with a win by Nico Ali Walsh. And I do think that this is a guy to keep your eye on, because I do think that they're going to continue building him, and he does seem like a good fighter, and he does seem like he wants it and aggressive and hungry. So I do think Nico Ali Walsh is someone to keep your eye on moving forward. Xander Zayas versus Alessio Mastronunzio. Xander Zayas is another up-and-coming savage. Very skilled dude, very powerful dude, can box, can bang, and I think that he's another dude that's going to be coming out with a win, aggressive win by knockout. But again, I haven't watched any tape. These are just my short takes off the top of the head. I will come back on Saturday and give some actual predictions that you could bet your life on, because my predictions are very extremely accurate as I give them. Let's see. Actually, I'll bring it back to one last question before I continue with these fights, because I actually do want to answer this one. Marion Brown asked, will Benavidez beat all those same guys? We don't know if Benavidez will beat all those same guys until we see it. The eye test says that Benavidez is better than all of these guys, but styles make fights. And look, some of the guys that Canelo beat are tall and long and can pose a threat to Benavidez. We haven't seen Benavidez against the same type of opposition. And you know what? The last fight we saw him at versus Kiram, I thought he didn't look too good. I think he got hit way too much by a guy that's so much smaller than him. So we just got to see the fights. Can't call it till we see the fights. All right. Back to my notable fights. Jared Anderson versus Alexander Teslenko. Look, we've all seen Jared Anderson. He's powerful. He's aggressive. He wants it. He goes out there for the kill. I think that's going to be a similar fight. A similar fight to Nico Ali Walsh and Xander Sayas, a guy who's going to be going out there aggressively hitting, looking for the knockout. I got Jared Anderson winning that one as well. But like I said, these are short judgments. This isn't really my full judgment or breakdown. I'll give that this coming Saturday. And then the main event of that card, which is Lomachenko versus Comey. I saw that press conference before I came on live. They were very respectful towards each other. Very nice to watch. But they're both going to go in there looking for fireworks. And I think that Lomachenko is going to go in there and try to stop Comey before in the first or second round, just like Teofimo Lopez did. I don't know if it'll work, but I think Lomachenko has all the tools. I think Lomachenko is still great. People have written him off, and he's nowhere near as bad as people make him to seem. Excuse me. Lomachenko's gonna go far. He's still got skills. He's gonna be back. He's gonna fuck up Comey. He's gonna win that fight. Will he ever fight Teofimo Lopez again? I don't know. Will Teofimo Lopez ever be the guy that he was before is the question to answer, because I don't see Lomachenko fighting Teofimo Lopez if Teofimo Lopez doesn't level himself back in terms of becoming a contender or a champion again, and recovering from the air in between the lung cavity, the lung and the chest cavity, and just recovering and coming back non-emotional and level-headed fighter and having a great performance. Because I'm going to continue saying that I think he looked like shit last fight, and he being Teofimo Lopez. So yes, I do have Lomachenko winning that fight, potentially early stoppage. I got to do my more research. I'll come back for my final breakdown this Saturday. On that fight card was on ESPN. On Showtime, we have Nonito Donaire versus Raymar Gabadio. Look, it's hard for me to give a judgment on that fight because I don't know who the fuck Raymar Gabadio is. But we all know Nonito Donaire. We know his skills. And just off the top of my head, because I don't know the other guy, I got Nonito Donaire. But like I said, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to watch some videos, and I will be back Saturday with some real predictions. Marion Brown with a question. If Loma stops him and looks dominant, is he the best at 135? No. The eye test says that he's the best and most skillful at 135. But no. He got beat by Teofimo, and that's the fact. Teofimo looked bad against Kambosos, but he got beat by Teofimo, and that's a fact. I think if Loma wants to be considered the best at 135 again, I think that he needs to stop Kambosos. I think he needs to stop Kambosos and or fight Kambosos and make Kambosos look bad and fight Devin Haney. I think that will be the guy at 135. I don't think you could call Loma the guy at 135 for stopping Comey when Teofimo stopped Comey in the first or second or first couple rounds. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's my answer. I don't think Loma will be number one. Off the Ropes Boxing MMA, good show, Kenny. I may not catch all the live show from you, Maestro D-Star and the crew, and that's because of my schedule, but I do go back and support. See you on the next one. Off the Ropes MMA and Boxing, thank you so much, brother. I greatly appreciate you. Any support is loved and appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect you to be at every show in every situation, but whenever you can, if you're there, love it and appreciate it. Thank you so much. Definitely support you and your shows and your content as well. So yeah, I don't think that the Lomachenko will be considered the top at 135 if he wins this fight. I think he's still got a little bit more to go to once again be considered top at 135. On the Showtime undercard, we have Brandon Lee and Juan Haraldes. Again, I need to do some research on Juan Haraldes and who he is and his skill. Brandon Lee, I've seen several times. Brandon Lee is aggressive. I like his style. And he believes in himself. So off the top, I'm gonna choose Brandon Lee. But again, don't put any money on these judgments. Don't go for them because I haven't done my full research yet. I'll have my research ready for Friday when I do my, for Saturday when I do my Saturday video. Then the zone has Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri. I'm not even gonna give a prediction on this fight because I definitely need to watch some video. You know what? I am gonna give a prediction. On the top of my head, I'm gonna choose Conor Benn, the undefeated guy. Chris Algieri's taken L before, and Conor Benn seems to be very aggressive and come forward and hit people and be able to get hit. I got to check both their styles. As they say, styles make fights, and I haven't done my research on this one, and I don't want to give any false judgments regarding this fight. And then on the undercard of that, the zone card is Katie Taylor versus Firuza Sharapova. Another fight that I got to check out, but that's also going to be another fight that you guys should take a look at. You know, women's boxing doesn't get the respect as men's boxing does, and there's reasons why. You know, the 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds and such, and the knockouts not being there, and also the amount of fighters that there are in male boxing not being there for female boxing. But the good fights that are gonna be great and competitive, we should watch. And I think Katie Taylor versus Firuza Sharapova is gonna be one of those. Then there's John Real Casimiro versus Paul Butler. I don't know what card that's going to be or what network that's going to be showing on because I didn't see it showing on the boxing list. As we get closer to Saturday, maybe I'll be able to get a channel or let you guys know how to watch that and take a look at that fight. But just off the top of my head, John Real Casimiro again. I don't know who Paul Butler is. I got to watch some video on the man and give you guys a better decision on that one. Dimitri Bivol versus Umar Salamov. Also, I don't know what network or channel that's going to be on, but yeah, I just go with Dimitri Bivol because I know Dimitri Bivol. I don't know Umar Salamov. I'm going to do the full research and full video watching by Saturday. I'll let you guys know. I'll get back and to give the full breakdown. On Saturday, I may have Maestro. I may have D-Style. I'm not 100% sure yet because I don't know their schedules, but we shall see how that goes. And yeah, that is it for the show today. If you are watching the channel, if you are watching this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications when I do come live in the future. And yeah, show me some love, spread the channel. I'll see you all in the future. You all have a great day. You all have a great evening. And I hope you appreciate the aggressive, truthful, real boxing talk. You guys have a good one. Take care. Have a great evening.